This is an official presentation of Sport Fishing Championship.
The first day of 3 ready to kick off here in the Atlantic Division. It's the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. First day of 3 of this tournament is stop number 5 of 6 of the Atlantics. We've been toggling back and forth between the Gulf and the Atlantic, getting closer and closer to the Zane and Grey Championship playoff later this October. But all of these boats were lined up this morning, taking off early, heading out to the fishing grounds. I believe they have about 150 miles that they can head out from the Narragansett buoy. Very similar waters that we saw last week, the Cape Cod Invitational. They overlap a little bit, or for the most part, but a lot of opportunity for these boats. Last week it was cut a day short, the tournament was, due to weather. South Carolina Outcast with some big catches. The South Florida Sails with another victory. Who's going to take the title here in Newport, Rhode Island? Welcome, everyone, inside our studios. I'm Robbie Floyd. I'm the guy that just kind of try and keeps things moving from fish catch to fish catch. This guy knows how to catch the fish. Peter Miller, I'm my co-host here, and ready to do this again. I know we were shortchanged last week. We're in it for all 3 days this week, brother.
Well, just don't shortchange yourself on the catching part. He's very complimentary, but, you know, Robbie has caught his share of bass along the way. You know, he's been involved with the bass world for a very long time, so he's caught plenty. He's no slouch, let's put it that way. You know, we're seeing some fish being caught. Not a lot of fish. It's really windy. The guys have found the areas where the temperature breaks are happening. So there's the white marlin being caught. There's some tunas being caught. And there's a big blue marlin that was caught too. Can't wait to show you those and some more. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. South Florida Sails, they've been hot, right? I mean, they've won 2 tournaments of the first 4, so they're trying to make it 3 out of 5. And very familiar. We've seen this before from other teams. Last year, it was Lights Out Boston, you know, going back to back to back. This team, they seem to be the new Lights Out Boston, don't they?
White marlin banging off the back of the transoms. You see multiple fish coming in at once. You know, that is when you have to hum. You know, everybody else is kind of looking around trying to find their way. And all of a sudden, they come up with doubles and triples, and they're catching the right kind, you know. And it's all about catching the multiple fish. You get to those 100, 200, 300 points in a hurry when you catch them all at once.
Yeah, South Florida Sails with a blue marlin and 10 white marlin. They're 11 billfish total. Only a sail or a spear short of a slam, but I mean, they were loving that blue because that really made the difference, didn't it? I mean, they didn't win by much.
Yeah, no, they had that one blue and the rest were all whites, you know, so they really put their work in. I think they caught 11 billfish total, right?
Yep, and multiples out of the other teams as well, but this was a 150-point victory, so that blue was the difference maker. If not, South Carolina Outcast.
150 points, Robbie, for $100,000.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's
I'll
solid.
take that any day.
And gets him closer as you look at that Citizen Trophy there, taking the title again, the only team with multiple victories in 2026. All season long, we jockeying for position. Playoff hunt presented by Exotic. You got to finish in the top 2 there. Sails, Seabirds looking good. 1,000 points out, 1,100 points out. East Coast Remix, and one of the hotter teams now, South Carolina Outcast. It's now or never for them. They have to make their move. Same thing with a Flare. But I mean, really, Lights Out and Remix, I think they're the 2 teams to look to try and jump up into that top 2.
Well, the fact that they've got 3 white marlin on the board already today, with no one else having any whites, and then we have the South Florida Sails. We know we caught a blue marlin, right? So they're in the fish, right? They have a really good shot, but you could see just 1 blue marlin beats 3 white marlin. So you really want to capitalize on those blue marlin if you can, but it's not that easy. They're proving that today. Only a couple boats catching fish right now.
Each one of our stops have their own individual rules. Sometimes we're partnered with other tournaments, but we look at it as the SFC Big Fish picture, all catch and release. with the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. It is a 3-day tournament. That's what it's scheduled. With 150 miles, that's how far they can go out. And directionally, maybe not the same areas. The canyons might not be in some of that same water we saw them fishing.
Very similar area, though, Robbie. And you can see on day 1, you've got 9 hours of fishing. Day 2, 12 hours of fishing. And on the final day, lines are out at 3 p.m. with 8 hours of fishing. That's 29 hours of baits in the water. That's a lot of hours.
And we haven't talked about that. When we're off air, there will be 2 hours of fishing still remaining in their day. We want to push everybody to social media. Rudy Tamarchio, our SFC insider, still doing those updates. So these first 2 days, when we go off air, there's still time left.
And they can't have baits or sonar before it lines in. So you can't be waiting for lines in and turn your sonar on, try to find the fish.
Yeah.
You've got to find the temperature breaks. You've got to find a spot that you like. And as soon as it's lines in, you can turn your sonar on and go to work.
Because this is actually more like a Gulf event, right? They take off, they stay out, and they fish. So they're letting them fun fish throughout the night, but we don't want them peeping. We don't want them checking out what's underneath the surface, trying to find the fish until it's the right time. But who knows what they'll catch? Jay Hodge, what did he catch last week?
He got a big sword. Jay Hodge got about a 250, 300-pound swordfish. His first one ever on a nighttime excursion with the lights out when it didn't count. They said, hey, you know what, Hodge? Why don't you get on this fish? And he wound up catching this fish, bringing it in the boat, and it was the fish of a lifetime for our cameraman. That
was awesome, and congratulations to him. That's hopefully next up on my billfish varieties. Let's go to Rudy Tamarchio. We talked about the SFC man on the scene. That's him right there. Rudy, I told the fans how we're going to be off air, but there's still a lot of fishing to go when we go off air each day.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of fishing up here in the Northeast. Just because we go off the air doesn't mean the fun stops. It's like a can of Pringles. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. Here, the fun doesn't stop until you really get closer to sundown. So around like 7 p.m., if not even later, I think as late as 10 p.m. You see it a lot in the Gulf tournaments as well. So a lot of opportunities to catch fish. We'll keep you guys updated online on SFC Insider, on Sport Fishing Championship, on Instagram, and also on our website.
Hey, Rudy, I got a question. As Robbie and I sit here, we watch all these billfish being caught. All of a sudden, there's an onslaught of big eye and yellowfin tuna. And I'm thinking, wait a second, you're at the dock. You must be really getting into this yellowfin. Are you going to turn blue like Ari from Entourage from all the mercury? Are you doing okay?
I can only hope so. I mean, we touched on this in the social hour, but one nice thing about doing an engagement on the Cape is that they give you a bunch of leftover yellowfin tuna. So I could thank Stuart Lackey and the Outcast for giving me an entire supply of them. So enough to sear for an entire family, a good time to have. In the meantime, some roster updates with the South Carolina Outcast. Stuart Lackey is not with them this weekend. They had a family emergency, so he had to fly out back to Charleston, South Carolina yesterday. We wish the best for them and their family. Hope everything's okay. In the meantime, Stephen Lackey ran the boat out. And as you saw, he's been catching fish. So he's not running the controls for the entirety of the tournament. That's just one of many issues that we're seeing this weekend with our different angling clubs. Rhode Island Breakers being another one. We're here in beautiful Newport, Rhode Island. This is their home. It's their home event. They're staring at a scratch right in the face because that boat just got finished up with repairs out of Wanchese, North Carolina. So it's not mechanical right now for them. It's more Mother Nature. As you guys have seen out there, it's quite sporty. So once they try to get this boat under power, they need to find a way to get up here. And as of right now, that's not looking so good.
Yeah, it's a rough time. I know you're having a good time. Bowensworth Fan Fest going on behind you. Got a lot of fans checking things out. Were you checking out North Carolina Flair? What were they dealing with? Some issues today?
Yeah, we learned this pretty late last night that they were going to be late leaving the dock. We all got to the docks at 4:30 this morning to see them off. Went to a really beautiful spot to watch them at 5 a.m. running out under sunrise. North Carolina Flair, they had a battery issue with their charger for their house battery. So that runs all of your electronics inside of a big sport fishing boat. So they had to wait for West Marine to open. That was about 6 a.m. if I look properly on there. So got in, got what they needed, put it back on the boat, installed, and off they went at about 7 a.m. So they are, looking at about 2-hour later start than the rest of the field.
Rudy, I'm starting to wonder if you ever sleep, because I woke up at about 3:30 a.m. and my phone buzzed, and I thought to myself, it's probably nothing. And it's Rudy. Hey, good morning. I'm over at the docks right now. Here's a couple of things that are transpiring right now at the docks, and that was one of them. Good morning at 3:35. I mean, you've become an avid fisherman at this point.
Yeah, hey, there's no sleep for the wicked, there's no sleep for the insider, and there's no sleep for anybody here on site. Our crew is always working hard at all times of the day and night, whether they're getting on cameras with the boats, whether they're setting up this fan fest. Everybody's wearing multiple hats, and nobody sleeps until the off weeks. So, around this time next week, you're not going to find me.
No sleep, no sleep till Brooklyn, baby.
That's where it was coming. Beastie Boys. Hey, quite the beast. You a little pressure on you this week, and I know you're good in front of the camera, but how nervous were you when you engaged, when you became engaged the other day? I've never been more nervous in my life than when I asked my wife to be my wife.
I asked multiple captains the exact same story. I think my favorite one is JC and Sarah, where JC was, running through like, hey, I've been looking for this fish. It's the one I've never been able to catch. And Sarah's sitting there going, black drum, larger tarpon, what black marlin, what fish is it? And he's like, well, it's you. Honestly, in terms of nerves in front of the camera, that might have been the easiest thing I've ever had to do, mostly because she's been waiting on this for like 6 months now. So I'm just glad she said yes at this point, to be honest.
You get that ring in your pocket and it burns a hole in your pocket. I remember when I was asking Alessia to marry me, that thing, the second I got it, it wasn't the right time to propose, but boy, I could not leave it in my pocket. It was literally burning a hole. She was in the middle of a tennis lesson, and I came up by boat and kind of swung around. But you doing it on the beach looked beautiful, and I love the way you kind of set the pick there, dug a little hole, and you caught her off guard, and then you pop up with a ring. You're like David Copperfield over here, a little magician.
Hey, just so you know, the magic doesn't stop there. What's behind this? Maybe a blue marlin. Wait a couple minutes. Maybe somebody's going to hook up here.
Hey, bud, we
appreciate
everything you do. Again, congratulations. We're looking forward to great things ahead and big things ahead today on catching as well. We've already seen a few fish being caught. You're about to see a few fish being caught here on ESPN. We're glad you can be a part of it. Again, multiple fish, multiple at a time. Last week, the first ever double up on blue marlin. Well, we started this tournament with a double up as well. You're looking at 6 boats out of the water, fishing in the Atlantic up in the New England states. It's the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. We'll see some of those catches when we return. The Rhode Island Offshore Invitational is sponsored by Meet Perry, Citizen, official timing partner of SFC, by Guidesley, and by Hook, official jersey and performance apparel partner of SFC. No Rivals leaderboard as it stands right now. We've talked about these fish that have been caught. Here are the fish that have been caught, and there's only one way, really, you can get 450 points. And how is that, Peter?
You can catch a tiny blue marlin for 450, or you can catch a big slob blue marlin. It's the same price, 450.
Yep.
And that one was a big one.
Yes.
It tore up the water like we've never seen before. Another first.
But we're going to get to see it. We're going to get to see it here on this next hour. 300 points for the South Carolina Outcasts. How they got that. 3 individual white marlin. Well, we kind of let the cat out of the bag when we show the points there. We talk about those 450 points. We're going to get to see Lee Albardi. We're going to see how the entirety of how it goes down. This is the first big of the tournament. South Florida sails at 11:06. This would be the blue marlin they were looking for.
All right, Robbie, we're going to break it down right here. We've got the angler in the corner with a dink kind of setup. It's a white marlin setup. They've got something pushing through the spread.
So they've seen something already.
Yes, they know they have a fish in the spread. They brought the teaser in, the dredge is in, something cutting through the water, and they're waiting to see it reappear. And we're waiting for that bite. We're thinking he's going to get the bite. We're watching, right? Now I'll shut up for a minute.
Well, this is graphically, too. They probably saw it on the electronics first.
There it is. Giant fish coming through, pushing major water. Lee Albardi grabs the big stick. He's got the 80 right there, pitching a mackerel right to it. Let's see if we can get the eat on camera. Did we get it? Kaboom, there it is. Look at the size of that tail. He's dropping right now. That fish is going away fast, trying to push it down with water. Doesn't need much of that because that mouth and that gullet is gigantic.
Yeah, did you see that tail on top of the water there? It was massive.
And the amount of water that tail like kicked up with the wind spraying over the top, that was just incredible. So he's tight already. He's leaning into it because the fish is pulling drag. He's used to it. He's leaning, leaning, leaning. And then that rod will go to the chair. This is not a rod cush. This is not a harness. This is not a fighting belt. This is straight to the chair. This setup is perfect for this. That fish is perfect for the chair. It's a big one, and it's sloppy out there. You want to be stable fighting a fish like this, if you can. There it is.
Sales coming off that victory last week. Fish is on the top of the surface, just ripping across those
That
waves.
is a big fish, Robbie,
Wow.
and that is, on a rough day like this, we've seen him in the glass calm water, and that's incredible. I always talk about that. To see that is just incredible, but this, tearing up the water like that, pushing that white water, it doesn't even look real. It looks like a jet ski has been abandoned and it's going through the water, jumping over the waves. This fish is massive. It's staying on the surface, putting on a show.
We've seen peppy whites, we've seen, sailfish and stuff stay up top, but never really do we see blue marlin of that size up top for as long as we're watching this one.
Yeah, this
It's
one
still
stays
there.
up. It stays up for quite a while, and it's still pushing like that. And when we've seen wild jumps like this, we saw one come off a few tournaments ago in the Gulf. It was just going berserk, just left and right all over the place, jumping on top of the line, and it wound up coming off. So when you see this, you get a little concerned that it's not kind of getting comfortable yet. It's not laying down right just below the surface. This fish is not a quitter. Trying to come tight on the line there. It's going to come tight, I believe, right there. We got that belly out. The fish is moving so fast that you get these bellies in the line, especially when you're coming back. And the gear ratio on these bigger reels is not nearly as fast as you'd have with a sailfish setup or with a white marlin setup. When you got that 6.5 to 1, this is more of like a 3.7 to 1. So you got to gather that line up. You can't come back too fast, but that fish is definitely a showboater.
And the beefy stick setup as well. Everything about this, when they saw that fish, they're like, oh, this is not a light tackle situation.
And let's talk about that, Robbie, because we don't get a chance to see a lot of that pre-stuff because these fish come up and it's like a car crash. The cameraman's rolling, but a lot of times it's kind of like, where is it? The captain doesn't even always know. The anglers don't know. I mean, you saw the dink rod ready, but then Alberti comes in. Right when he saw that dorsal, there was no question. That was literally 1 second.
We need
he
this.
grabbed the mackerel, flopped it over, dropped it back right behind where the green squid chain was laying in the water, and that fish inhaled it within 5 seconds.
Can you imagine what they'd be dealing with if it would have been, because again, you were right, they had the light stuff ready. If they would have deployed that and it would have bit the light, either way, you want the hookup, but I mean, it's a totally different fight.
They saw it cut, they probably saw it cut through, they probably saw some white water, but they didn't see that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a second, we've got a freight train behind us. Get out the freight train big meat stick. I mean, look at that. That's the perfect setup. We haven't seen a lot of that either, where the guys have changed from that to this. This is the biggest, it wasn't a gradual buildup. This was like from small to large.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And especially Atlantic, right, as well? I mean, in Gulf, we see the fighting chair, we see the bigger rods and reels. We don't see it as often in the Atlantic.
Yeah, they're live baiting in the Gulf. A lot of times we've seen that from those teams, and they're catching their tunas and their tuna tubes. And you see a tuna bird just went by. It's flying by. The marlin's probably spitting up some things while it's jumping out there, and that bird's scooping it up. But they're definitely not a giant flock of tuna birds, which is good, because if you go through a flock of birds, flock of seagulls, I ran so far away, you're probably going to get into the tunas and you're going to miss your opportunities, wasting time and not being able to focus on the blue marlin.
We heard before with Mike King talk about Lee Alberti and how accomplished he is and the ways he can catch them. Already 9 fish caught, billfish caught this year, 5 blues, a white, 3 sailfish. That's very...
You can't get enough of that, Robbie. We
No.
see his scores. We know he can do it. He does it all the time, and that fish is absolutely tearing it up. South Florida sails, catching billfish is what they do. And this one proves to be one of the biggest we've seen in a while, you know? They got big fish in the Gulf, they catch them on that live bait, and they come jumping towards the boat. They're off the bow of the boat, banging into the hull, banging off the transom. This fish right here is a jumbo.
That was a question you asked Mike King the other day. You asked him about maybe live bait fishing, and he goes, Lee can do it. He didn't need to do it this time, but I mean, you saw the quick, I see it, I pitch it, I catch it.
Well, there's no live, they don't even have live bait on this setup. That's not what they do. Their favorite technique is the pitch. It's the bait and switch, is the pitch baiting. It's having value out there and just getting those fish like that. They're not a live bait type team. Some people specialize in that, but this is just this was a perfect execution of making the moves at the right time, because had that fish bit that other rod, that would have been totally a long one, unless the fish laid there, didn't know what was happening, and they backed down on it quickly and got that leader touch for the points. But this was like clockwork, perfectly executed.
Yeah, there was no doubt that this fish knew he was stuck. He stayed up top. He was like, oh no, He was hoping to get rid of that hook.
And you just see the shoulders on it and the amount of water it pushed, and the tail when it kicked to try to get that bait. It was just remarkable how much water it did push.
Yeah.
We have not seen a lot of that. And when the wind hits that wave or that wake that comes off the fish's tail, it blows, it makes it even bigger. It exponentiates the moment. And here we got the wind-on leader getting ready to come into the tip. You got the double line coming up still with that. There it is. Let's see, is he going to get it right there? There's the 450. They got in the tip and the touch. And that's about a 4-foot bimini twist right there. Down to maybe a cat's paw with a wind-on leader. One day we'll talk about the cat's paw. We got Brendan. We got our cameraman Brendan on the boat there.
Brendan, our cameraman, doing a great job out there. You're going to be rocking the next 3 days.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. Because I think this is one of the calmer days of the 3. And it's already a little rougher than we'd seen in previous events.
Well, completely doable, as you see. Not necessarily comfortable in exactly the way you want it, but when you find those temperature breaks and you've already committed to being out there, you deal with it, and they're dealing with it quite well. With 450 points on the end of their line, already got the release, already determined what kind of fish it was. Those got to feel really good, and you can see the fish underwater here just a little bit, just a hint.
This is only the second hour of competition. They only got one blue marlin last week, and they won the tournament. It was just the numbers of whites they caught in addition to that single blue that put them over the top. 10 whites and a blue marlin last week. This equals her blue marlin catch.
She'll be coming around the mountain. When she comes, that's a hard left turn right there. Taking line, peeling off. I mean, this fish could do a lot more than it's doing right now. It's just kind of a little bit confused. It's like, what is happening? What's battle wagon doing, backing down on me like this?
When it was pushing water, it looked like a boat taking off. How it's like trimmed down and just under power. It was just moving gallons.
You see that green, blue, kind of gray color there, just submarine-ish.
On the side of this fish, very green in color.
There it is, green and blue and gray. Silver on the belly, and there it is. Popped him off. That was, that wasn't a lot of pressure on that leader when it popped off. That fish had been shaking and chafing on that leader for quite a while.
Yeah, not much pressure there, but we saw how much it was fighting out there at distance. Look at this fish. What a way to start this event. The Rhode Island Offshore Invitational. We've got a blue marlin already, and a pretty one at that.
Thick.
Very. Rhode Island Offshore Invitational officially got underway as the Rhode Island Breakers welcome Sport Fishing Championship teams, partners in the Newport community for an unforgettable kickoff celebration. Guests enjoyed an evening of live music, great food, and networking before Meet Perry hosted a compelling panel discussion featuring SFC CEO and Commissioner Mark Neifeld, Rhode Island Breakers owner Paul Scorsia, and Rhode Island FC chairman Brett Johnson, the moderator Chad Weinstein. The evening set the stage for an exciting weekend of world-class competition on the water. So again, that meet, greet, sit down information station. Quite the backdrop they had there. We've had a fan fest going on throughout the week, and we'll continue to do so at Bowen's Wharf.
And you know, another really cool thing about all this, right? So we're doing this live bill fishing show. We've got, looks like a Seabirds hooked up to the left there. We have another catch alert there.
We saw them earlier with meat fish, a couple of tuna.
That's a meat stick right there.
Another Tuna Town adventure. So we never did see, we saw them catch a yellowfin tuna. At how big would you say that range?
They caught two of them, and they looked to be about that 80-pound range.
Okay, I never saw the second. I was like, I knew that was a good sized first one they got on board.
Yeah, and this looks like it's got the same deal going. Rod tip shaking, you know, straight up and down. Tuna birds cruising around.
Again, you never know, but you know, we kind of know.
Could have been 60-ish. It's hard for us to tell when it hits the deck and there's no one standing by and the camera angles from the tail towards the top of the head. So there you go.
Get that bat.
There you go.
Everybody.
High water alarm.
Oh, no.
It's like he's wearing a cape. It's like a superhero back there. He's wearing his white cape. It's blowing behind him. Look at that.
You got to have the proper apparel.
Faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall tunas in a single bound.
You know, we've been,
they always say when, you know, Blaine's at the wheel, the reels will squeal.
Do they say that, really?
Actually, I made that up.
Well, there he's at. Look, he's been taking pics, doing social media stuff. I think
there's not much he can do right now. You know, the fish is away from the boat, straight up and down, and he doesn't need to do too much work. Wait, what's going on here?
It's good to see our creeper cam, though, you know, working up at the top, so we got a 2-camera shoot going there.
That was a quick costume change. Something just happened here. He was wearing a white jacket a minute ago.
As soon as you said that, he might have done the derobing. You know, like, hey, get this off of me.
Yeah, that was a quick. That was almost like they did some magic on us, like what Rudy did with the diamond engagement ring. He did a little scratch in the sand, like in the you know, off to the side. Distracted her, distracted Jen, soon to be. How do you want to say his name? Termacchio?
Yeah, Tamarkio. This team here giving back to the community as well, the PGA Hope, which stands for Helping Out Patriots Everywhere. $33,800 for PGA Hope so far this season. They're giving $2 for every single tournament ranking point they've got. They've got currently second in championship points.
That's just great. You know, everything that's going on here is just wonderful, and having you know, something that's so great for people to help catapult them to the next level, to get the care that people need, to just, you know, take care of others while you're doing your thing. What a win-win.
Back to the community. Right now they're gonna try and get this tuna back into the boat.
And they're not playing games. No, they're not going to let it go because this fish does not count. So he's holding on to that leader. If they can gaff him, they will. But if it pops off, they're going to be okay with it.
I didn't see the gaff for the longest time. Let's see this fish.
It's right there. It's been there.
Well, I know it's there. I see him doing the wraps. I'm just saying. Yeah, they didn't want it.
Well, they did want it, but he was not going to let go of it. So that's why he's taking wraps. He wasn't finger tipping. You got to get back to.
Let's get back to fishing. Get back to catch as well. Going to say happy birthday to Jared Birch. Yesterday was his birthday. Was he 16, 17? I'm joking. No, he's a full-grown adult. All right, so we're seeing some meat fish being caught. We saw that blue marlin caught. We also had a double up to start off this tournament in the first hour of competition today. We'll see that on the other side.
I'm Trent Bonifay from the South Carolina Outcasts, and you're watching Sport Fishing Championship live on ESPN.
Discover heart-racing adventures, breathtaking views, and one-of-a-kind experiences that can only be found through the SFC Experience on Guidesley and Guidesley Pro. Go to sfcexperiences.com to find your next outdoor experience. Had a buddy of mine, Greg Kisper, fishing in Puerto Rico, I believe, this upcoming week. I sent him towards Guidesley and said, hey, man, you need to check it out. He was on a little cruise. Got to good port in San Juan. We've been there before. You don't have to go far.
No, it's right off the coast there. That's a really, really nice spot. Lots of blue marlin there.
Seeing the 6 angling clubs fishing out on the water, a little bit of a rougher situation than they were last week, although we did have a cancellation of the final day. But
you see how stable it looks right there, though. I mean, as I say that, it starts to roll a little bit, but man, those sea keepers really, really keep you in check.
Right. Yeah, who knows how much they'd be swapped out. Well, we teased it before we went to break. South Carolina Outcasts, they could have their lines in the water at 10 o'clock. Didn't take too long. 10:54, they were hooked up with not one, but 2 white marlin.
Double header.
Woo! I say doubled up, and you corrected me during the commercial break. They can be doubled up, but this is a double header. Stephen Lackey and Trey Kimmerlin, the anglers of record. This would be a 200-point catch in a very short amount of time.
There he is. He's saying he's... Lackey's already got his on. And Trey is waiting for it to come tight or get his bite. Waiting patiently. Rudy
told us that Stewart not on board, having to deal with some family issues. Again, well wishes towards the Lackey family. But Stephen, I think, motored him out. Now he gets to man the rod and reel.
See, he's got a little something, a little line from one of the other rods over top of him, I think. There it is. There you go, perfect. Pass it through, past the Doce on the left-hand side, and he walks back over to the left. And let's see if Trey's gonna, oh, Trey's dropping. Trey is probably tight, but next time we see his rod tip, we're gonna see a little bend there. Yep, he's tight. That's the beauty of the circle hook. Rod tip low, lock it up, and it's a done deal.
This is the team who last week caught our first multi-blue marlin catch at one time.
Trying to get that long bait out of the way. Now that things are settled in, they have a double. They want to make sure they clear everything now. It's rough. You know, this is not the time to try to fish your bait as long as you can. You had 3 in the spread potentially, 2 are on. And at that point, 1 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
I hope they don't get it.
I haven't seen any sargassum.
Yeah, not really, not much. I know they have 1 mate there, but I mean, you almost need a couple. But I mean, you see the angler.
Trey. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the angler having to take care of business.
You just don't want to do it when they're backing down too hard, or you don't want to do it when the fish isn't running. When the fish is running, that's when you can turn around and do stuff like that.
If you got slack, it's not a good time. No. I mean, you.
Only good thing about, another good thing about the circle hook, I should say, is that they do stay in. Once they're in, they typically stay in, whereas a J hook has a tendency to come out when you do have some slack in the line. More so than the circle hook.
Good job by Jimmy. They're wiping off the camera.
A full wipe down there.
You see they have their camera also for verification. That's what that black item is.
360 cam right there.
Yeah, it's great if we show it, but they have to. They're obligated to show that catch.
A little under.
What's the vector?
A little over. A little under.
They're dancing. It's a dance machine. Watch me get down while I do my thing on the video screen. Remember that one?
No, I don't. But it sounds like a lot of fun, Robbie.
Yeah, it is.
Is it one of the ones you step on the colors and do that thing?
No.
Yeah.
So I got mine, so that means he ran it all the way to the tip.
Yep, and I think Lackey also had his. There you go. There's that white marlin dorsal.
Yeah, you can either make contact with that leader with your hand or run that leader all the way to the rod tip.
Look at that neon blue.
Whoa.
That is lit to the max right there. That's maximum lighting right there. And that's why I named my fishing team Get Lit, because of that exact moment. When I saw that dorsal for the first time, Pex for the first time back in 1989, I said, I'm going to name my boat Get Lit. That's what we did.
Rod tip bouncing. I mean, you talk about that happening with the tuna, but we know.
Well, that's way out there. That's just a fish. That's just a fish pulling drag up on the waves, shaking his bill back and forth. You know, there was never a down and dirty moment. He's got major heat on the fish right now. He's like locking it down. That's why the rod's bending so much. And you know, they already got the touch. They've already got the ID. And let's see if we can get another lit one, Robbie.
Yeah, that first fish, that was the most beautiful white marlin we've seen in Sport Fishing Championship.
There's Lackey leadering a fish right after catching his own. Look at that. Everyone does something. And this fish is lit too, Robbie. Underwater right there, you see that?
Oh,
it
cool.
is neon, turquoise.
Look at that.
Wow. Doesn't even look real.
Putting on a light show.
Looks like you flipped a switch on that fish.
Yeah, the colors of those two fish were exceptional.
Yes.
Yeah, they're definitely high-five moments.
That's right.
So again, two white marlin worth 200 points, gets them a little closer to South Florida sales. This wouldn't be their only catch of the day.
Good job, Trey. Hey guys, it's Trey from the Outcast. Day one of the Rhode Island tournament. We just let go of double white marlin. We weren't fishing long and had 2, maybe 3 come up, so we just found a little temperature break, and we're gonna work it out right here. Hopefully we get some more whites, maybe another double blue marlin if we get lucky. So y'all stay tuned and keep your fingers crossed. Thanks.
All right, Trey, nice work, nice work. Robbie, what do we have?
I hear that sound. It looks like North Carolina flare, a little late start.
That's screaming. That's a blue marlin. There's nobody screaming for a white marlin. Let's see.
Nobody's screaming for a white marlin? Really?
No, you're not screaming when there's a white marlin. You just do your thing.
Oh, man. They are animated.
Get it in, there he goes. Reel it up, get it in, get it in. It's a big bait, He's got to get in front of him. He's still waiting. Can't see his rod. Scoreboard. He's dropping and just came tight. Let's see. Nope, it came off. All right, maybe get another shot. Coming back. It's coming back. There he is.
So we had a swiper, no swipey, but he's still hunting.
He's dropping.
8 seconds, here we go.
8-second drop back on the blue. He is tight like a tiger. There he is, rod bent. See, they know it's a good sized fish. They got the right tackle. They matched it perfectly because they saw the size of the fish. And like I said, Robbie, when you got a white marlin coming up, you're not screaming. You get a blue, freaking out, pushing big water, making a ruckus out there. That's the name of a lure, by the way, called a ruckus. That is when you're going to pitch the bigger bait. That's when you're going to be ready for the chair or the harness.
So they are hooked up. We thought they were hooked up at first, but it was a no-taker. But he came back for a little extra. Now he's hooked, and now they've got to fight this fish.
And came off, and he took it again.
I'm on your left.
The Rhode Island Offshore Invitational is sponsored by One Water Yacht Group, No Rivals, the Billfish Conservation Project, and by Exotic Outdoors.
That's a nice shot right there.
Very artistic, our crew is, always. So we got
A little
6.
flare. They call it a little flare.
Little North Carolina flare?
Yeah, very apropos.
I like what you did that. We've lost signal for the North Carolina flare. When we went to break, they were hooked up. Hopefully when we come back. Come on, Elon, get it going. Our Starlinks are hooked up to each and every boat that we have out there fishing. Again, the Breakers not with us on day 1. We hope they can go out there and fish at their home tournament on day 2 and 3. North Carolina flare started with some mechanical issues. Had to wait, get a battery from West Marine this morning. When they opened up, they went out there and hooked up with a Blue Marlin.
We got some good deals on everything there.
Yeah. I don't know if they had a discount code or a coupon.
You know, Robbie, we can't see them because their camera's down, but we could watch that bite again and listen to the mayhem and the screaming.
Because they were hooked up. This is actually where we left off, and then we'll see if we do. But they were hooked up, right, Peter? And then they come off.
Well, what happened was they dropped back, the fish ate it, they went to come tight, pulled out of his mouth. Immediately, he reeled it a tiny bit, and he was all kind of dejected, and the fish came right back and ate it again. Unce, tice, feet times a matey.
So do you think in that particular case, the hook wasn't ever in its mouth?
They T-bone it. They'll T-bone it, or they'll have the hook right at the tip, and they'll come and eat the tail first. Then they'll go away with it, then they'll reposition the bait and take it down head first where the hook is, so when it comes back out, it'll catch him in the corner of the mouth. Yeah. So he got a couple of shots at it. A lot of times that happens with a circle hook because they don't feel it, right? So they'll come back and eat it again. Now they're fired up because they got the taste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They've got the fever.
Water Yacht Group instant replay again. This is what happened as we went to break before we lost transmission. We're trying to reconnect. Each one of these boats has a Starlink system on. We're bouncing it off the satellites, bringing it back to our studios here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Got the shoulder burn going right now, cranking up that slack, cranking as they're flying in reverse. They want to get as close to this fish as possible before it does anything violent, right? The less pressure, the least amount of pressure on this fish right now will keep it high up in the water column. The more heat you put on a fish like this right now, it's going to dive down or go ballistic, and you don't want to have that happen at this juncture. Conjunction function, what's your junction?
North Carolina flare led by Captain Brian Dressler. We saw Jackson Diab with multiple catches last week. Walker Diab on board as well. David Dressler, Thurman Humphreys, Jim Brewer, Errol Varinka, and Mark Dressler, the 8.
You got Braxton Collins in there?
Yeah, Braxton's in.
Oh, yeah. Remember when I gave him a live goggle eye?
Oh, no, he's not. Braxton's not with us this week.
Remember when I gave him a live goggle eye in Fort Lauderdale?
When we,
And he couldn't catch the tarpon, I gave him I said, hey, you want a live goggle eye? He said, yeah. Pitched that thing over, giant tarpon ate it. That was a highlight of his life, a highlight of my life.
We do want to remind everybody that No Rivals All-Star Week. You can, make your votes right now on sportfishingchampionship.com. Maybe somebody from the North Carolina Flare. Pick a captain, pick a angler. Pick some crew.
Let's look at what's happening here, Robbie. He's been cranking this entire time we've been talking.
Yeah.
Right? On this moment here. That tells you that the fish has been laying on the surface and they're backing at this fish. So we have rougher conditions. And as I say that, it starts to sink down.
And also notice that this is stand-up too, not in the fighting chair.
This is the moment where they actually got hooked up. He's saying to move that rod.
Flat line, get the fucking flat line.
Okay, that is what happens when a big blue marlin comes into the spread. People start to use their outside voices because they are outside. When a white marlin comes up, you're not going to hear that. So he's going to be bringing it next to that squid chain. It's already up. They got the dredge up, and they've got the right match tackle. You know it's a blue marlin, right? So we're going to see what happens here.
Hey,
bring it in, and then he's going to get ready to be able to drop back right about now. We're going to see it.
Wasn't it a week ago we were talking about how the communications made things easier? You're hearing a lot of yelling.
Sometimes the cockpit's not communicating with each other because maybe they don't have a headset on.
Well,
there it was. That was the eat right there. He's dropping.
None of them have headsets on.
Goes to come tight here in about 8 seconds. Comes off. Circle hook, it's okay. They didn't feel it, right? But they did get the taste. It's coming back, far back in the spread. There it is. Dropping.
Let me win. You good?
You're good.
8 seconds. Here we go.
It's go time, Dressler.
Tight. Tight.
Popping it in gear a little bit. A little thrust, you heard that.
Turbo boosters.
Taking line, staying tight, clearing everything out of the way.
Atlantic Division, as they're out there in the water. Yeah, so we still are missing the current.
Do we have something going on there in the upper right-hand corner? I see some stretched out high vis on the South Florida sails. Could they have another fish on? Looks like it. They're in the tuna birds. I wonder if it's a billfish or a tuna. Let's see.
Yeah, catch alerts. They've already got a blue marlin. Again, those birds he's talking about usually hang around those schools of tuna, but where there's tuna, there's also marlin. Oftentimes, that's what they're feeding on.
Backing up, everyone seems relatively calm. They've got the lighter setup, and we're seeing the downward-facing dog right there.
Is that a yoga
They've
pose?
got the 360 cam out. We don't see a gap anywhere.
Yeah, they don't need a camera for a meat fish.
Well, the camera's always a good idea. Sometimes it'll surprise you, but the fish isn't completely down. It still has a little scope going there.
They're already getting ready for...
And he's not getting right on top of it. You never want to race back right on top of it. Actually, he's got a leader cutter. Let's see. What's happening here? Oh, yeah, that is a billfish. Look at that.
Is that a mighty whitey?
Yeah, it'd have to be a white. Nobody's freaking out, remember? No yelling on the white. A lot of yelling on the blues.
I'm just hoping it's a sail, because if it's a sail, somebody might get a
I think it's already done, and it was a white.
And they're looking, he's going back to the camera.
Cool, calm, and collected. He was just turning it off. They know what they got. Hey, there's no doubt. Jumped 5 times.
Courtney Lacion will be our IGF TO for this event. She'll have to go back to the tape, and she can re-rack and restack and take a peek when we saw it up on the surface there at the very end. Didn't have much time, but again, we feel that it was a white marlin, which would be another 100 points added to their 450 total.
Is that Mark McDevitt?
So we're going to step aside. Again, a lot of things happening. We don't have a signal from the flare, but when we lost signal, they were hooked up with a blue marlin.
I'm Captain JC of the East Coast Remix, and you're watching Sport Fishing Championship live on ESPN.
Be sure to join us as the hunt for the Zane and Grey Championship playoffs continues in 3 weeks as the Gulf Division resumes action at the Texas Billfish Open hosted by SummerSlam. Coverage begins Friday, August 14th, 2 p.m. Eastern on SFC's YouTube channel, and then at 3 p.m. on ESPN+. Beautiful Texas coastline there. We move from the Atlantic Division where we're at right now.
Robbie, I see the Outcast hooked up. I'm sorry.
What?
I can't bite my tongue on this one. Something's going on, and it's on the surface. It's not digging down like a tuna. I hope it doesn't. I hope it stays up like this.
Quick draw Peter, man. You're identification. You're like ludicrous speed.
Pew. Remember those clowns at the carnival? You get the water gun, hit them right in the mouth, and blow the balloon up. That was me. Not the clown. That was the water gun guy. See some birds cruising around. Some little tuna birds and your average run-of-the-mill seagull.
You call them seagulls or seagulls?
I'm not sure exactly what they are. They could be boobies. I saw a pair of boobies just go by. You see those two?
Yeah.
3. That's called a triple zipple.
We got the crawfish bowl pot coming out of the.
Oh, that's more the tuna. That's more the tuna drawer.
Did you see it?
That's like the crisping drawer in your fridge where you keep your lettuce. This is where they keep the tunas. I Don't see a gaff. But
So it's a plus.
I'd like to see a little rasheroo on the surface there.
Whatever it is, coming up pretty quick. If it's going to be a meat fish and you're going to eat it, you might as well be quick about it.
He's definitely going full steam ahead on this fish.
Yeah, I mean,
He's not playing.
Their job is to catch billfish.
Good sized waves there, huh? Here comes another one. It's about eye level.
He was
You see it back up, yeah. I mean,
Backing
your
up,
glasses
Terry.
get so we've been underwater. I mean, waves coming over the head, backing down. You got to take your glasses off. There's no reason to wear them because you can't see because there's so much water on them. There's no point in wearing them.
Yep. Peter, as they're reeling in this fish, the Outcast, do you see the points on the board?
I do see them.
You notice they did
They're
give
gigantic.
They gave the 450-point blue marlin points to the flare, so they called it in as a catch. They'll still have to be, gone over by Courtney, but also the sales with their white marlin release. So both of those teams now, and as soon as we get that footage, as soon as they get connection back with the satellite, we will bring that to you. Right now we're watching.
We saw the highlight reel.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible to watch the North Carolina flare with Dressler, directing traffic down there in the pit with another Dressler up on the bridge directing traffic from up there, and it all went down. It bit once, came off, came right back as it got a taste of the good, and took off with it. They locked it up after the 8-second drop back, and it was game on. We didn't see a jump. We lost connectivity at that point, and we're working on that right now. But as we speak, we're watching the Outcast on a fish, and he's going to town on this fish. He's not being shy. He's not suave on this, so I don't know if it's a tuna or not, or maybe it's a white, and it's, it's definitely hasn't dove down. But every time I've said that,
it's got to be close. It's got to be close right here. I mean, we've been reeling for a while.
Now you watch that rod tip, right? Let's see what happens there. Do you see a little bounce-a-roo?
Hey, to fish like the pros, you got to dress like the pros. Hook, the official jersey and performance apparel partner of SFC. Looking good out there, boys. I see Blanchard Cat on the back of that jersey as well, representing the good stuff. But again, if you want to fish like the pros, you got to look. You got to dress like the pros.
You got a Dressler like the pros. I mean, he just caught a blue marlin.
Different team.
Different team, but
got to dress like.
Yeah, I think it became something other than what we thought it might be.
And unless this thing ran without me, look at how much line was out. Because, I mean, it seems like he's been reeling forever. Now you're holding ground, but.
Actually, it's definitely tuna-ish. That little rod tip bounce, yeah.
It's been about an 8-minute fight so far. Even if it is a tuna, you wanted it to be quick and get it on board so you can go out there and start, trolling for the marlin.
Especially with that gear right there. I mean, an 8-minute fight is not long, so it looks like he's gaining pretty well right there, but he's definitely putting in the work right now. 1 or 2 cranks. That wasn't a lot of cranks right there, but yeah, he's doing some good work on this.
South Carolina Outcast with
definitely
3 whites already. That's where they got their 300 points. So they're only a blue marlin away from the lead. Every point counts, whether it's day 1, day 2, day 3. They'll have lines out of the water at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Day 1 and day 2. Shorter day on day 3. You can join us on ESPN Plus, and watch it all go down. not seen this fish. It's almost certainly a tuna of some variety. We'll hope to see it on the other side of the break. Right now, South Florida Sails leading this tournament. Cross-chartering yacht transport, the official yacht transport partner of SFC. They're a full-service yacht shipping company offering a broad range of lift-on, lift-off transportation services for yachts, super yachts, and sailboats, including pre-transport preparation and logistics. I sure would like to see Peter Miller's invincible boat right across the bow of that vessel heading through the Panama Canal.
That'd be sweet. So sweet, Robbie. I appreciate you pushing for that. I hope they're listening.
Yeah, if you're watching, if you're listening, yeah, it looks good. Again,
I want to hitchhike a ride on that.
Yeah, me too.
Cross charter, baby.
But we're inside the studio. We will be on site for the Zane and Grey Championship playoffs, and these teams are trying to make their way there, Peter, where if you're in the Atlantic or the Gulf, you have to finish in those top two. Right now, South Carolina Outcasts, South Florida Sails, North Carolina Flair, the three teams with fish already on the board.
You know, when you go to Cabo, the fishing is in Zane and the membrane. It's just incredible to fish there. You know, everything about that area is just great. And if you want to learn how to fish, that is the spot to go. But these guys know how to fish, and they're competing to get there. Two teams from the Atlantic, two teams from the Gulf. And right now, we've got a tight race at the top with the South Florida Sails. And it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, we saw a few blue marlin caught last week. We've already got two in the first part of this first day. I'm kind of impressed by that when typically it is white marlin territory. Looking at the No Rivals leaderboard as it sits, three teams with qualified catches, but the Sails are they just keep doing what they do. I say that to the kids playing baseball. You know, don't do anything special, just do what you do.
You know, my favorite thing is about when the kids are playing, especially the really little ones, the little walk-ups they have, and they do it to music and they do their dances. And the one kid doing slow motion walking towards home plate, and they try to make him go, and he stops the guy, and he says, no, I'm going to continue in my slow motion with it.
Big time event here. Again, this one, the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. We are missing one of our teams, the Rhode Island Breakers. Been dealing with some boat issues. Maybe they make it back and get back into competition. I feel bad for them because this is their home tournament. They wanted to be in it in a big way.
Yeah, of course. It's tough. It's a tough, tough go of things. But, you know, you can't deal with all the water and all the problems. But, hey, I think we should take a look at the Flair Boom Marlin because I believe we just got that footage in. Okay. We were waiting on it, and the camera's kicked back in a gear. A little reboot, a little hard reboot. There it is. All right there. We got some cell phone footage. There's a leader touch. That's 450 points for the dress. That's a 250, 300-pounder right there, Robbie.
That's it, though. That no doubt blue marlin. Big celebration.
That fish has flair, doesn't it?
Some North Carolina flair.
Nice one.
Oh, whoa. That is not going to buff out.
That's the pointy end, folks.
That's not going to buff out. I wonder what it would look like in the water. Peter,
360 footage. Looks smaller on the 360. The boat looks bigger. On the regular footage, the fish looked nice. This fish looks small there on 360, right?
Well, I think that's just
I mean, compared to what it looked like a second ago, but I love this footage, man. You can't go wrong with 360, cell phone, GoPros, and, of course, our cameramen that are always covering the good stuff. We got Brendan on that boat.
You'd like to thank them for sending that to us. So they must have been able to send it the smaller version. Because
that was Corey sending it. He actually sent me a text. We got some good cell phone video. Corey sending it. Not sure what happened, but at least we got that, and the other footage is being uploaded.
Yeah, so they have their camera, and we'll see it in high def. But again,
you understand how many cameras have gone down where we've been fishing, backing down, water coming over our heads, microphones go off. I mean, we've been through it all. Everything is floating around the deck of the boat. And you can imagine what these cameras go through, these expensive cameras to try to get this footage. They're wearing the Starlink packs on their back as the cameramen. So they're walking around, you know, like with jet packs, like they're on the Jetsons. And they're trying to get that footage pumped up, and they typically do. But every now and then, when it's rough, Robbie, we'll have a little short somewhere. Take a look at the remix there.
Future looks bright for them, or at least the day is, but they're back there just chilling, looking, waiting for that all hell to break loose. Kenny's saying, come on, I just want to hear Blue Marlin. It's just the words.
Chandler sitting there, and then you got Kenny in the foreground. Chandler's doing a little spinner, waiting.
It's tough when you're not seeing anything. Even tuna, like you just get those juices going again. You know, some type of catch. You want it to be fishy, but when you're just out there cruising and you're not seeing anything, maybe they did.
They caught a ton of tuna last week. I mean, just non-stop tuna. Kenny said that they had no more room. They filled all the boxes, and they said, you know what? It's enough sashimi, sushi, seared. I mean, it's Bubba Gump style. I mean, every single way you could make it. I almost asked for a piece, you know. Figured they were coming back to Miami for a few days.
Yeah.
But I was so busy.
Just a little taste. Amar back there ready to take a nap.
Yeah, I could rock you to sleep when the bite's slow.
I saw something from Grant Horvat. You know, he's a big fisherman, but a big YouTube golfer. But he loves fishing, and he took all of the golf guys from Bob Does Sports. Say there's 6 guys on board with Grant. 5 of them were throwing up overboard. It was awesome. 5 of the 6. Only Bobby Fairway was supposed to throw it up.
My good friend Kit, his mom once said to me, and she spoke perfect English. She was very eloquent. She was just, you know, super intelligent. But she had this little thing that always cracked me up. She said, Peter, whoever showed up, throw it up.
I had that happen on a boat that I was with one time. Me and Doug Gottlieb. And one of my roommates, John Gomez, were on the board. It seemed like all the wives wanted to purge. The only one that didn't was mine. But she grew up in Louisiana. She's used to that stuff. All right, we're looking for some more fish catches. We're looking live out on the water. We'll try and get you that high-def footage of the North Carolina flare as well. Day number 1 of 3 is underway. The Rhode Island Offshore Invitational is sponsored by the Coast Guard Foundation. Cross-chartering yacht transport, official transport partner of SFC. By Bosun's Marine. And by the Nature Conservancy, conserving the land and waters in which all life depends. Beautiful Newport, Rhode Island, Bowen's Wharf Fan Fest underway. We're underway with this first day of our 3 days of tournament coverage here on ESPN.
And the flare is back up and running. We see their image there in the center of your screen. Due to a high water alarm, maybe the camera went under for a minute, but we're back in action. Wipe it down, a little hair dryer on it.
Why did you remind me of that? My hot water heater died right before I came here today, so I've got to figure that out.
Robbie, my microwave died, my toaster, my vacuum, and my garage lights all in the same week. I thought I was going to lose it. Guess what? I went home 3 days, everything's done. Don't worry about it. I got it. And then the AC unit.
Oh, no.
Cleaned the coils completely yesterday out in the driveway.
You're so good. You know, we talked about South Carolina Outcasts in that first hour with their 2 white marlin, but what about the one they caught in the 11 o'clock hour? Another 100-point fish. Once again, it's Stephen Lackey with that qualified catch.
See, when you see that rod tip bouncing like that, that's just line being dragged across waves, and the fish is going away, and they're still in gear, and the fish is running. So that is just, you know, that's, some people say, oh, you know, I heard you talk about the rod tip bouncing, it's a tuna, but when it's scoped up like that and you initially hook up with a fish, I mean, they already know what it is. So I'm just telling you to the public that's watching, that rod bounce is just that movement. It's when it's straight up and down and you see that rod bounce, that's when you know it is the tuna species.
I didn't realize this, but you know, in our notes last week, I think the Outcasts had a late start to their adventure. We've seen, you know, the North Carolina Flare with the late start today, having to wait to get a battery, but they had an unprimed filter, so they didn't have the filter, you know, fully filled up before they went to run the boat, and that's what caused them. I mean, just those little things that mean a lot. Ouch.
You know, and sometimes, as you know, you've changed the fuel filters on boats, and you go in there and you get it all, everything's good. and then all of a sudden there's a big burp, there's a big air bubble somewhere, and you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
What
And
happened?
a lot of times you want to saturate the filter also before it goes in. With you,
Mr. Mechanic, you've been working on that
Saturation
64
Nation, baby.
Lincoln Continental?
Oh yeah, I had the Lincoln out the other day. Put the top down, went for a quick ride. Playing some pretty hardcore rap with my son Maverick, and I said, Maverick, what do you think of this? And he's like, I don't know what they're saying. Was it good?
Perfect.
Yeah. Today was a good day.
Blue waters, but somewhat rough blue waters. Gotta have that seakeeper on there trying to level that thing out gyroscopically.
Yeah, it's a little breezy out there. It's definitely breezy.
Today's supposed to be the best of the 3 days, too.
That's what I'm hearing.
Bring in the right teether. Right teether.
Today it shows it gusting to 18 knots. Tomorrow, there's a moment during the day where it gusts about 25. And then Sunday, it's a little better, gusting to 20.
It's negligible.
23. I mean, for these battle wagons, that's fine. You know, it's when it gets into that 30 something range, that's when it becomes just uncomfortable.
Stephen Lackey representing Blanchard Cat. You see Palmetto, that hook fishing gear, Costa sunglasses. Titan, it's also cool to see their sponsors listed over there on the side of that graphic as well. This is a 100-point fish. They're trying to get video verification of that.
Going underwater right there, they're showing it, you know, already. They know the fish is right there, straight up and down. You know, you'd think, you know, at first glance, oh, is that a tuna? But they already know what it is. It's just right below the boat, 30 foot a leader there.
Remember the flare when they were catching that blue marlin, how it was all yelling, screaming, you know, mayhem? They've got the communication systems on. If they were to yell like that, you'd blow your eardrums out. But it's just a different thing, a different style. I
I've
don't know
thrown
why.
my headset off when everyone starts yelling because they're, you know.
Yeah,
but
animated.
if you notice, some of the people in the pit did not have headsets on.
Right.
So there it is. There's the white. There's the 100-pointer right there, just doing a little.
How'd he do?
Little look and see what's coming after him. He's like, oh gosh, it's a sport fish. Look at all that teeth. What's happening here? I mean, that's windy. I mean, that's full-on blow dryer central.
Yeah. Not a warm wind like we have here in Dallas. You know, it got to like a heat index 117 actual heat index. Yeah, this week. I'd been out in Georgia. It was hot there as well this week.
Devil went down in Georgia.
Well, he was looking for a soul to steal.
He was in a bind.
Way
He was
behind.
Way behind. But
he's willing to start the reel.
Make a deal. Make a reel.
Oh, great job. Jimmy on the spot.
Literally, on the spots. All right, there's the 100, official 100. They already got the ID. They're in good shape for that hunt it.
Stephen Lackey, chalk it up, another 100. That's his second white marlin of the day. Just gets them a little bit closer. Every point counts. Again, the varieties we're looking for, you're going to see a lot of whites, hopefully more blues. Blues worth 450, the whites worth 100. Maybe we'll see a spearfish, maybe a sailfish, but either way, they're catching them. At least 6 caught this first day.
So my name is Heather Kinney. I'm the Coastal Restoration Program Manager at the Nature Conservancy in Rhode Island. The Nature Conservancy is one of the largest nonprofit conservation organizations in the world. So right now we are headed out from Safe Harbor Cove Haven Marina in Barrington to our first site at Connecticut Point to do our very first beach seine of the day using our 130-foot net. The target species that we're most interested in are scup, tautog, black sea bass, winter flounder, and summer flounder. And that is because these are really recreationally important fin fish.
We're actually more concerned with our juvenile fish than our adult fish because we like to see what is recruiting into the fishable populations so we can set regulations and determine population size into the future to determine what people can catch out on the water.
So we just set our net along the shore. This gives us basically a snapshot of what is living in the water within that area, and we can take those data that we're collecting right now to extrapolate that on a larger scale to the estuary. What the team is working on right now is identifying, counting, and measuring the fish species that we caught. So that helps us tell like what the age classes are of what we're catching. Our winter flounder, we also get summer flounder here, but this is a commercial and recreationally important fish.
Estuaries like Narragansett Bay are nursery grounds for a wide diversity of species for all of the things that you're fishing for in the ocean. Fishermen recognize that without careful conservation and restoration and protection of estuaries and good water quality, we don't have good fishing. So it's a natural partnership. When we protect rivers and bays and estuaries, that means better fishing, better fisheries, and a more enjoyable experience for everyone who loves to be out on the water.
We are always excited to share about the science that we do at the Nature Conservancy, and you can come out and volunteer with us if you like, out on the boat to do some field sampling, and you can find out more about what we do at our website or follow us on socials.
The Zane and Grey Championship playoffs will return to Cabo, and there's no better place to host it than at Corazon Cabo Resort and Spa, located in the heart of Cabo San Lucas. Corazon Cabo offers incredible views, luxury accommodations, and direct access to one of the best sport fishing destinations in the world. Travel packages begin rolling out this July, so start planning now and join us for an unforgettable championship experience in Cabo. We hope to see the fans out there. We're going to see the anglers. Corazon, a great facility right there. Don't have to deal with the boats, everything else. But the fishing is unbelievable. The golfing, unbelievable. The stay, unbelievable.
That drink looks unbelievable. You know, the reason the fishing's so good over there is it's got two major currents, and when they meet up, they got these deep underwater drop-offs and these big mounts, and then when they converge, it's like an abundance of bait, thus an abundance of fish. It is like Jurassic Park out there. I've seen sea lions, I've seen marlin, sharks, sailfish, you name it, all at once, along with whales, all together chasing the same school of bait. And you head out the port there, you can take a right, head up the coast, you can turn left and go, toward the Sea of Cortez. That's right, you produce a port. Yeah, it's, the fishing's good either way. You can't make a wrong turn. Working through our boats out on the water. There's the South Florida sails right there. We're looking at the angle to show. Hey, Pete, we need to point out that they get to fish till 7 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be off air at 5 Eastern, so make sure to join us on there are social media possibilities and find out how it's going. Rudy Tamarchio is going to be giving you the rest of the scoop there. So when we're off air, the fishing will still continue for day 1 and day 2. Now, on that final day, we fish to the end of the show at 3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we will crown a champion. We couldn't really see that South Florida Sails white marlin, but I think they were able to feed some of the 360 footage. Mark McDevitt was hooked up. Let's see how she looks. Oh, yeah. I love those cameras capturing a little bit of everything. Definitely a white. One Water Yacht Group bringing us that instant replay. We got full speed to slow-mo. The quick sweep. That is just great. Quick sweep, a 60-foot Spencer. The boat of record for the South Florida Sails. Team owners. Whoa, 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 right here. What do we got there? That was a quick reaction. There's something that tells you there's something on the chain. Out a clip or something. Watching it live, I don't think it was what he thought it was, but the instant
instantaneous. We have not seen vegetation, but that was like one of those things like you get hooked up or something stopped and popped it out of the clip or something there. You might not be the only ones hooked up, even briefly. We've got our full picture here. Yeah,
what do we got here?
Out.
We got a little Ray Rocher on the stick there. We're in all the colors of blue.
Seabirds, I think, may also be hooked up now. Somebody ring the dinner bell. I see, even Outcast on our personal 7-box here. I think that somebody ring the dinner
You're
bell.
right. Yeah, everybody's got something cooking.
Look at this, Peter. Ding, 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 ding.
It's a shooting gallery.
There, this is a perfect example of our 6-box or 7-box.
Let's look at the lights out there. You see, we're watching the body language here, right? That was a tuna. These guys would be reeling everything in if they knew it was a tuna, right? But they're still fishing. They still got a couple of rods out there. They still got a couple of guys with sticks out there. Ray's working on the fish. The trajectory, the line coming off the tip of his rod looks good.
Outcast is doing
guys
a get out of my way
fishing.
move.
Seabirds doubled up with something.
Outcast was in a get out of my way mode just a second ago on the bottom right.
Yeah, but as we watch, we're waiting for something else to transpire. They're still going pretty fast and forward there for the Seabirds, whereas Ray, GoPro, backing down. Yeah, they're right there. They're trying to get rid of those fish, I think.
Just a cranking. It's a 2 on. We don't know the flavor just yet. Whoa,
A lot of tunas around. This is when you want to work those fish fast. When they know what they have on there. We're definitely in tuna town right now.
When we went to break earlier, we saw a team with the mahi-mahi too. I mean, that was a little bit of a surprise. Hadn't seen that yet. Is that the Seabirds that they caught the mahi earlier? Do you remember that?
Lackey. I think Lackey
was
had
it?
Had a mahi.
Or the Outcast?
I'll feel you on me.
They're trying to make quick work of this. And the longer they fish or taking time with the meat fish, it means that they will not have time to catch the billfish. So you do not want this to take very long. Yeah, we talked about that mahi that we saw earlier. This is a different variety of meat fish. Our One Water Yacht Group instant replay. Nice, colorful.
Alley. You're going to get hooked, Steven. Oh.
Yeah, that one will go back. They'll have that for dinner.
Seabirds in the tuna dance.
Still feel you.
Lights out.
Remix hooked up?
And we know they're on a fish as well. Remix is hooked up.
Again, don't know the variety.
Outrigger's coming down. Flippy Floppy's coming in.
Are you a believer of that time? Like I know the lunar times, this, that, and the other, but how often is it that when it turns on, at a certain time?
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, do you have to go out early, you fish late, we fish tournaments with 100 boats, all within radio range, and it's amazing how towards the last minutes of these events, they'll have 10, 15, 20 boats hooked up. All of a sudden, first of all, you have to call it in so that, people would not normally call every single thing in. You only call in billfish. But sometimes, Robbie, it seems like maybe it's a barometric change and it's just a bite time. They do definitely have bite times.
Right when those open up. Like you could have those midday doldrums where nothing's happening and then all of a sudden, bam. This seems to be like one of those times.
Yeah, it looks starting to look tuna-ish all over the place.
The upper left.
Seabirds, we got the remix, we got lights out. 3 boats right now working on fish.
Might have a lot of belly.
Is that Chandler on the remix there?
saw them earlier, just everybody just chilling, waiting for that moment. This is their moment, hopefully. Hopefully it's a white that doesn't seem to be.
You see that reel up there? That's the dredge reel, right? That's got to have a lot of strength behind it. It's got to have very strong gears. It's got to be able to do some heavy drag to be able to pull that in a rapid fashion. Some of them have a level one. You can get a titanium spool as well. You can have two different spools depending. Maybe you want to go deep dropping one day, or maybe you just want to use it for your dredges. But you know, you get into the $9,000 range per reel.
That's a lot of money. And you see what they're using off of that dredge. Looks like blue colored items emulating. We saw, I don't remember which team, but somebody that did catch a fish had pink colored you know, dredges or baits.
Here we go to Tuna Town over here.
What we got?
We got the gaff ready, taking wraps on the tuna, trying to see if they can get them or not. Stop them or pop them. There you go. It's called a pop.
So she didn't make it on
birthday
board.
boy.
What?
Oh, Ray's in Tuna Town. Yeah, it looks like they both went remix and lights out. Looks like they both went to the same town and hooked up.
Remix on the left, lights out on the right. Lights Out Boston needs billfish, though. I mean, you know, they're in a position they haven't been in before. If they're going to make it to the Zane and Grey Championship playoffs, they need wins. And they're not far out of it right now. If they just get any points today, it could almost feel like a win. But they need these catches to be billfish, not meatfish.
Ray's applying maximum heat, finger pressure, thumb pressure, and drag pressure.
And Lights Out Boston last year, they went back-to-back events, Cape Cod, the Hook Billfish Classic, and the Mid-Atlantic. They started with a win this year when we were at the Florida Keys, the first stop of the Atlantic and Gulf Division.
Starting to come up here.
Since then, South Florida Sails have been the team to beat.
Ray is bringing the heat right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think he doesn't want to waste too much time, and he's like, it's a fact of, I'm either going to get it in fairly quick, or I'm not going to get it in at all, and we're going to still go out there and try and catch these billfish.
Acting like a billfish.
All right, wow, you heard Chandler say that? Acting like a billfish, he just said.
Love that.
That was not Ray.
Yeah, feel it. Yeah. Oh, that's
Look at that. Got that leader on the tuna there behind the lights out.
You want to go real fast back?
I don't see it.
No,
he's asking for the
Kyle Paparelli in the foreground there. You got Tucker on the leader.
You do one throttle, I do the other. Yeah.
Should be pinwheeling next to the boat unless it pops off.
I think
There
he
it
asked
is.
for the gaff, but I could be wrong. No.
Popped up right there.
Yeah, he was not wanting to waste any more time.
The amount of chafe when you apply that kind of heat is incredible. Because their teeth saw back and forth. You know, when you catch a giant largemouth, like some of them have those really sharp teeth when they're working in those oyster beds.
So when he says it feels like a billfish, we're hoping it's a billfish.
Only he would know. I mean, to us, it looks like a tuna.
Yeah.
But he's on the rod, right?
Looks like a 25-pounder. So I'm thinking.
Well, we're hearing the audio when they're talking poundage. That would be tuna, right? Or is he thinking it's a small?
He said it felt like a billfish, and they said maybe it's a, you know, a bigger fish that sunk down. However, hopefully we'll see soon. It's got a nice retrieve there.
Had that little setback last week with a 5th place finish after back-to-back third place to start the season. That third place would have given them an extra 400 points compared to the 5th that they got. If they could have just kept that streak going. Currently a remix at 1,100 points outside that Zane and Grey Championship cut line.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, this is down and dirty. I mean, if you think it's a billfish, I mean, he's
Got to put a little more power to it, or
he's putting the wood to it, asking if he should put more.
what do you want, Igor?
Uh-oh, now we got it coming up. There we go.
I think the go fish is going to drop it right now. Foul hook blue.
Yeah. Oh, if it,
that'd be nice.
That would be big.
You don't see the rod tip bouncing.
I know.
I haven't seen it bounce much.
All right.
That would be the best case scenario, right? I mean, blue marlin that just.
You see it. I mean, you know, I was just going to talk about pinwheeling, how they go out to how they make a right or a left, and they come back on the rod tip will come back around, and then you'll gain some line, and then it does it again and again. So.
You get the gap? Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
JC says it looks big.
So is JC seeing through the water better at his angle, or is he seeing it from the graph and looking at the profile?
Man, they're putting the heat on that fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's pinwheeling a little bit.
Well, I just saw a little shake. But, come on.
That's a gap.
I can't ever tell unless I see it.
Yeah, it's definitely pinwheeling, right?
Got it.
Yeah, it's a tuna.
Dang. Man, oh man, we were hoping they were right. Maybe it was a tail wrap blue, but that one doesn't seem to be the case. I spent this much time. They've got her up there. They might bring her on board.
Well, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it is.
One more time. One more time.
She still don't want to come in though, does she?
One more pinwheel. That should be it. Right about here. It should be his shot.
Four.
Little ball of muscle, those tuna.
You got him.
He's stuck now.
There goes Ryan. Choking down on the gap a little bit.
Yeah, nice size fish. Another old yeller.
Longer streamer fins, but still in that maybe 50-pounder.
Good size fish. Good eating there for the East Coast Remix. We were hoping the possibility of it maybe being a blue. That wasn't the case. They're going to redeploy and trying to catch some before Lions have to be out. Every sale can change a life. Sport Fishing Championship is proud to support Sail Beyond Cancer, providing cancer patients and their families the gift of time on the water. Scan the QR code to make a donation today and help make a difference one sail at a time. Again, get your camera, click on that QR code. We were actually able to catch up with the founder of Sail Beyond Cancer earlier this week, Susan Snyder.
My name is Suzanne Snyder, and I am Executive Director and founder of Sail Beyond Cancer USA. I'm also the Sail Beyond Cancer Newport Interim Executive Director. Sailing always brought a lot of joy and a moment to really leave everything ashore, and so, you know, there's nothing better than setting the sails, turning the engine off, and just being able to be present and letting Mother Nature take you where she wants to take you. So for me, starting a nonprofit for cancer patients, and I was one at that time, I found a lot of opportunity just to leave everything ashore, all the worries, to be able to get out on the water with people you love and just to be able to breathe and to have a moment of peace And there's nothing better to be on a vessel, whether it's a fishing vessel, whether it's a sailing vessel, but just being out there. All of us had that feeling of just leaving the dock. That's the reason why I started this, just to be able to give us an opportunity to escape cancer for a little while. So when somebody's nominated with Sail Beyond Cancer, anybody of any age can go and be nominated for a free 3-hour sail with 5 of their loved ones. And it's an amazing dream come true for me to be able to see and hear that we're really starting to make a difference here and reaching out to people all over the United States, because anybody can nominate anybody, and it's about being aware that this even exists. So many people don't know about us yet, so having ESPN2 and having all of you guys out there helping to support people. And each chapter is its own nonprofit and is connected to the mothership, which is Sail Beyond Cancer USA. You can nominate anybody, any chapter. You can donate for multiple chapters. It doesn't matter. You go right to a website and donate. There's a donate button there. And help us make a difference, one sail at a time. Every single dollar makes a difference. Our actual mission statement is honoring those who are challenged by cancer by harnessing the healing powers of wind, water, and sail. So it's not all about the sailings, but being out on the water and just, whether you're fishing, whether you're swimming, whether you're kayaking, whatever it is, the peace and the tranquility of feeling the waves underneath you, rocking you, and just being out there. And tying that at this amazing international tournament is just such a thrill.
Cool to see that as one of our community champions. At each and every stop we have one, but to know that the teams are out there representing them, flying their flag throughout
there
the
it is.
Sail Beyond Cancer.
What a wonderful organization, you know, healing with wind, water, and sailing. I mean, we know how it is, and that is just a wonderful organization. And their Instagram is at SBCUSA Sail. Sail Beyond Cancer USA Sail on Instagram.
Cool. Only when we go live do you do the Fomalina. Again, I'd like to thank them for doing that. And they're hoping to add a couple of blue marlin flags to that to that tally, right? That's the goal.
North Carolina Flare donning their flag there.
Yeah.
Sail Beyond Cancer.
They've got one blue marlin, one of the 2 that we've got in the tournament so far. South Florida Sails and North Carolina Flare with 450-point fish.
Amazing how different the scenarios look, or the scenes look, you know, from the South Florida Sails to the Seabirds and the remix, you know, like gray, kind of overcast. One has a little more blue in the sky. Right chain, fish on the right chain on the remix.
There you go.
Right chain, bait just went overboard, saw that.
What's happening?
Huh? His mic's not down. White or blue, Jay? I couldn't tell. It's real
Teaser.
dark. Ripped a bunch of drag, though.
Sounds like a billfish.
Well, he said white or blue, didn't he?
Well, he asked what it was, but he said he pulled on the teaser really hard.
Pull your rod tip out, further out, get it out of the wash, Amar.
You want to get that bait in the clean water, which is outside that whitewash.
And that's Amar. I mean, you're letting the youngest guy on the boat be responsible for this fish.
Fade back, getting ready on the long. You never know where it's going to show up. And if it doesn't show back up, they redeploy the dredgers and the teasers. But it definitely took a good bite on that teaser.
Amar Hernandez, the son of Kenny Hernandez,
There goes the
with a
teaser.
couple of sails this season. So he's done very well in Sport Fishing Championship, Carrier Cup, as well as Key West with these catches. But I mean, it's a lot of weight on your shoulders, you know, being responsible for this team's success.
And the only way to learn is to be doing it, right? You got to have a lot of shots. You got to have a lot of reps. They redeployed the blue teaser squid chain with a flippy floppy on top. Waiting to see if it shows up as they go into a turn. Trying to tease it back up.
Did you have a mark or no? No, it popped it, and then it ripped like 10 yards of drag. And then when I looked, I could see the black face in it. Yeah, what it was. So,
They're trying to tease it back up. So a lot happened, and that fish wanted a little action of that teaser.
No, not hey, Mark. No, I don't think so.
A lot of discussion on board there, Peter. Just didn't want to take the bait, but might have got a little taste of that teaser. Might have got that special sauce that you talk about, how they get that little bit. And latched onto it too. He said it took it a little ways.
I mean, it took it 30 feet and popped it out of the rigger clip up there. They have a rigger clip to notify them, because if they turn their head and hear a snap, they know it's coming up because something whacked it. But sometimes they'll come up. The last thing you want them to do is grab it and rip the drag, especially 30 feet. But, you know, sometimes it's, you know, the way it is. And a lot of these captains have to use their hands to pull that line in, and they get major mono burns across their palms and their hands and tops of their hands. After these marlin tournaments, the captains come in and their hands are mangled.
But you see how fast it can happen. As soon as they popped it out of the clip, Amar had the bait out there ready to go. Just wasn't his time, but they're going to search around for it. And if it's going to show up on the graph, I promise you, JC is going to find it. Fans vote now through August 30th to select the rosters who will represent the Atlantic and the Gulf divisions at SFC All-Star Weekend presented by No Rivals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, October 29th and 30th. Each ballot allows fans to select 2 captains, 2 anglers, and 4 mates from each division. Teams will be announced at the conclusion of the regular season. Vote once daily, support your favorites, and build the All-Star teams.
Good job, Dan.
Last year, All-Star champions were the Atlantic Division. See if they can go back-to-back this year. Vote for your favorites, Peter.
It's a good time of year. That's when they first start coming through. The sailfish start coming through at that time, October, November, in that area, the first push. Get those mullet runs coming down. They're chasing that warmer water. The mullet come down, and the sailfish, kingfish, sharks, bluefish, you name it, they're all close behind.
Live out in the Atlantic Ocean right now, the 5th stop of the Atlantic Division. Take about a 3-week break and then kick off once again the Gulf Division on their 4th stop of the season.
Is it my imagination, Robbie, or did it calm down a little bit?
Yeah, it does look a little less.
A little bit.
Well, I look at, you know, the North Carolina flare, it looks calm, but then again, I look at the Lights Out Boston on the left, and I see a lot of swamp.
And then South Florida sails too. So I'm gonna retract my comment. I'd like that stricken from the record, please.
You should have just said, if you look at the North Carolina flare, it doesn't look too bad.
Like the remix is gyroed up.
Yeah. And again, that gyroscopic effect in the boat, it's almost like a bicycle wheel. If you ever take one off your bicycle and you spin it, how you feel that rotation, that force against you, that's what that gyro's doing in the hull of these boats, keeping that boat level. It's amazing what technology can do for you, making things much, much calmer.
It really is remarkable.
And you said you use it even under the lighter conditions, and
I always turn it on. You know, when you're hooked up to shore power, you're getting ready for a trip, you turn it on. It takes about 15 minutes to spool up, 20 minutes to spool up, and you know, you have it, right? And you're doing it on shore power, not doing it on your battery.
Yeah.
So I can do it on my battery very easily. You have a giant lithium battery, and it works incredibly well. But as of late, you know, the Seakeeper Ride, the trim tabs I got on there, moving at 100 movements per second times 4 trim tabs while you're running. You just hit auto, and you never touch your trim tabs again. You're only driving the boat, and the boat balances. 5 people walk to the left side to go to the cooler, the boat stays.
Yeah.
Waves are coming, it hits, and it lands softly.
And you said 15 minutes to spool up and get you on this level ride. When you turn it off, though, it's even longer. It takes a long time to just let it.
5 hours to unspool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that, but I was there the first time you used yours on your boat, and we're like, is that really going to take that long? Oh man, as we're looking live out on the water, and the Outcast, South Carolina Outcast, with 2 white marlin this morning in the 10 o'clock hour. They're looking to do what they did last week when they moved near the top of the leaderboard. They were hooked up with 2 blue marlins, something we had never seen before. But when we look back to this,
that lean out there,
so special. 900 points in a blink of an eye. Happened on day 2 towards the end of the day.
Robbie.
Oh, that's just so
oh, man.
Stephen Lackey, Trey Kimmerlin.
This is you hear that? Great teaser. So this is the double up, as you call it.
Again, this is a look back at last week and what Outcast, and it shows you it can happen. We broke the seal, if you will, Peter, on our doubles. We've seen some special things out of this team.
That was the 30-minute release, 30-second release on the first of 2 blue marlin that they had on, and now we get to work on the second one. The first one kind of laid there, pulled a little drag and laid there. They backed up, grabbed it, and they did some work to get the second one in. But the first time in 5 years, the SFC history, a doubleheader blue marlin. Give it a little yankaroo there to have it jump.
See it in the water, just subsurface there.
Just swims away off into the blue yonder.
Again, that would get them in a good position to finish second. Only 150 points out of that victory for the South Florida Sails. Outcast looking to do one better this week. They're only 250 points out of the lead right now. Final catch was 11:21 with a catch by Stephen Lackey. Still got a little bit of time on our show today, a little over 5 minutes to go, but make sure you stick with us on all our social avenues. Sport Fishing Championship, they've got till 7 o'clock before Citizens lines out on the first day of 3 of this Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. To fish like the pros, you've got to look like the pros. You got to visit the SFC shop today to represent your favorite angling club all year long, including the new hats from No Rivals. Find it all available on shop.sportfishingchampionship.com. Back to Sport Fishing Championship, the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. We're almost done with our broadcast window. They will be fishing for another 2 hours on this first day of 3. You can follow us on social media.
Hey, Robbie, quick note, Dino McDowell, look at that. Seabird's doing something. Seabird's dropping.
What about Dino?
Dino sent me a text about the, what do we got there?
Bouncy.
Maui Wowie. He's got a Maui. It's so nice they named it twice. But Dino sent me a text about the Seakeeper. He said 9,000 RPMs on the Seakeepers. I have the Seakeeper 8,250 rotations per minute. That's incredible. Flywheel spins inside a vacuum enclosure to completely remove air friction. Lets it spin much faster while using less power and generating massive angular momentum. Well, Thank you, Dino. He's not only a champion angler with no sleeves on and a choo-choo trainer.
Think of how free spinning that is, though, to go that long when it's spooling down. I mean, how non-restrictive it is. Like you said, that vacuum must be really...
kind of like when you used to go to those EDM concerts and you'd get home and you'd have to unwind for about 5 hours. That's just like that. Yeah.
I don't know what you were taking. Aspirin, of course.
Only water. Only water for me.
A lot of headache. No, I'm just saying that's a headache. I can still hear the doom, 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 doom. All right, they're reeling. They ain't the right kind. Did he say mahi-mahi?
Yep, he called it a Maui, just for fun. Yep.
Yeah, she gone.
No, it's still there. They're just reeling fast.
The possibilities of points are gone.
Last
We are going to take a break here for just a moment. We're going to talk to the captain of South Florida Sales, Mike King, on the other side of the break, see what he has to say. The Rhode Island Offshore Invitational is sponsored by Surfside, by Corazon Cabo Resort and Spa, the official host resort of the Zane and Grey Championship playoffs. Gloria Gemma Foundation. And by Comparion. Looking out at Newport, Rhode Island. I'm glad you could join us throughout our 2 hours today. We got 2 hours tomorrow, 2 hours the next day on ESPN. Make sure you join us then. We've still got 2 more hours of fishing, Peter, on today.
A lot of twos in there.
We're done with our TV window, but still opportunity, and you really want to end the day with a catch, pick up the next day with a catch. It's happened so many times this season.
Yeah, and again, it's finding those spots. It's getting out to the areas where you're going to find those currents and you're going to find those temperature breaks and you're going to find the bait. If you get into a big mess of birds, you know, yeah, sure, there could be marlin skirting around those tunas, but a lot of times those tunas will take you out of the contention because they're going to really get you buried in fighting fish. 2 guys up and down for 30 minutes. So you want to leader them, pop them off, and get back to fishing.
A lot of things to look at today. We had at least 6 catches, I believe, 2 blue marlin, 4 white marlin. Let's take a look at those highlights real quick and see how it went down earlier today with our catch alert. South Carolina Outcast, not with 1 but 2, but South Florida Sales in the lead with 550. They only have a 100 point
This was
advantage.
a jumbo too. You know, this was the kind of fish that just makes your heart stop, makes your knees shake. As he deployed the bait off the back corner, and that fish came up and ate, and it started pushing water everywhere, just going ballistic. Really put on a show. Some of the best 450 points we've ever seen.
Lee Albardi with the blue marlin catch. We would back it up with Mark McDevitt, a white marlin
chunk.
catch. That's their 550.
Is that McDevitt? There he goes. There's the South Florida Sales with the little white marlin there.
With that 100-point advantage, it's also important to get those points first because that is the tiebreaker, right? I mean, you want to have those points always, but get them first.
Really good.
No Rivals leaderboard look like this. The South Florida Sales on top. A single white marlin advantage over the North Carolina Flare. The Outcasts have caught nothing but white marlin so far. Still looking for the first qualified catches of the Seabirds Remix Lights Out. The Rhode Island Breakers, not out on the water yet. They're hopefully making their way closer to Newport, Rhode Island. We can see them out there fishing tomorrow and that final day. This is their home event, the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meet Perry. But again, this is not a one-day tournament. Looking forward to days 2 and day 3. This man's saying, let's go ahead and shut it down right now. Let's crown a champion. Let's bring in to our show. We've seen him out there fishing on the water. Mike King from the South Florida Sales trying to do what he did last week, this week again. But hey, you've already got the blue marlin out of the way. Now you just need to catch 9 more white marlin to equal last week's catch.
Yeah, it's going to be a bigger challenge than last week. We got some rough seas today, and the conditions have changed, and with the seas, you really can't make moves, and real fortunate to get what we have gotten today. A lot of tunas on the surface and trying to avoid those, but we did get lucky enough to catch a really nice blue one around the tunas, and just the 1 white. That's all we've seen all day other than tunas.
Nice work, Mike. You're getting kind of used to seeing you here at the end of the day, talking to you. And the only difference now is you're hanging on. You don't want to fall over in those rough seas. But I was super impressed with the feed, with the drop back, with the quick switch down there in the pit. Are you pleased with your crew down there? Are they doing good things for you?
Oh, they're amazing. We've had we kind of put this thing together. Beginning of the year, it's just we've all clicked, and they're amazing. We've had really good percentages, and we all get along. It's just a little divine intervention came together here, and we're having a lot of fun. It's a little tough today. We're cold, we're wet, but we're digging it out.
Wow, being cold. I don't know what that's like. We haven't been cold in a while. It's 118 degrees. Hey, how big was that fish? Because, you know, we saw it pushing water and going berserk. You know, it's really hard for us to tell. How big do you think that fish was?
It was all of 500 pounds, and it could have been more, maybe 600, but it was definitely 500-pounder all day long.
Oh, and as a guy who knows big fish, he's got over a grander. My gear, a Texas boy, used to fishing in the mid-Atlantic, now up there in New England. I know that we have some overlapping territories. You could be in the same water possibly that you fished last week. Did you go to that water, or did you go the canyon route in a different area today?
Today I started with the conditions. We didn't really have enough time to mess around, and I couldn't get to the areas with the new boundaries. I couldn't get to the areas I fished last week, and I started in the canyon hoping for a blue marlin, and we got lucky and we got him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, day 2, do you make that run because you got a little more time and Citizens lines out? It's another 2 hours from now. Do you make that move and get to that area and maybe pick up where you left off last week?
Hopefully it lays down, so I haven't looked at the weather, but it's going to be, I'm going to probably have to not worry about too much of the fishing strategy tonight to get a little rest. I'm going to have to move back into the colder water to have a more of a comfortable night and just see what tomorrow brings as far as the weather. It's just hard to move around right now. You can, but it makes it difficult.
How's the what's the current like up there? You know, I know down where we are down in South Florida, sometimes we get out there sword fishing and we got, you know, 4 or 5 knots, and it could be pretty, you know, pretty intense. What's it like over there?
It's not as intense. Luckily right now I'm in just about a half a knot to 3/4 of a knot of west tide, which is going with the wind, so it's not quite as rough. There was a boat that's not in the tournament above me or east of me 10 miles, and it's so rough he's going on home because he's in some easterly tide, so it does make a significant difference.
Yeah, we had talked about that we were looking at the 7 box, and it looked like some of the boats were smooth sailing and some of the other boats were getting like the mule kick where the transom pops out of the water and slams down and water comes in the back. So I'm glad it's not too bad with all that wind. So very impressive, man. Great to see you. Great job on everything you're doing. And man, that marlin was one for the books.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one like that pushing that kind of water, and that the way it was pitch baited, everything about it, man. You guys are on fire, and we just love to see it.
Yep. Hey, bud, we appreciate
Thank you guys, and
go ahead.
Hopefully got some more fish to show you tomorrow.
Yeah, we appreciate everything you're doing. Thanks for talking with us. Get back out there to fishing again. You can follow along social media, sportfishingchampionship.com. Rudy Tamarco still going to be updating that live leaderboard as well. Ready to re-rack, restack. We'll be back at it again tomorrow.
Love it. Nothing better than this.
Let's do it once again. Peter Miller, Robbie Floyd going to be back at you again. It's our 5th stop of 6. Sport Fishing Championships Atlantic Division, the Rhode Island Offshore Invitational presented by Meat Perry. South Carolina Outcast started the day with 2 white marlin at one time, adding up those points, but then the sails, just like they've done all season long, they get those blue marlin, max points. That's what put them on top of the leaderboard. They have a small advantage. Only 1 white marlin making the difference now. We'll see if they can do something in these final 2 hours of fishing on day 1.